Their birth story kind of started at the very first ultrasound. They, test and see how far along you are, checking and making sure babies and things are okay. We found out as soon as they turned the monitor on, it was 2 babies. We just was like, oh, great, twins. We're gonna have twins. It wasn't until about 18 weeks that we figured out that Alex and Amir had some complications. And at that time, our local hospital told us that we had to do selective termination because of how small they were. Then one was serving as a donor twin to the other. Transferred out to another hospital. This hospital told us that we didn't have to do that. Then there was a time where we had too much amniotic fluid. During that time, they kind of just kept the monitors on for the rest of the day, coming in periodically, checking, saying, okay, they're not doing the way we want them to. And we got to about 9 o'clock, and they said, well, you're going to have babies tonight. And next thing you know, we roll in, and Alex and Amir were born. Alex was first, and Amir was second. After that, they took them to, NICU nursery before they took them up to the NICU. And I remember seeing them, and they were no bigger than my hand at all. Not even thicker than my hand. Their little arms and legs are smaller than my pinky. Alex was 197 days between the NICU and the hospital floor, and Amir was in for 58 days. So.
It was challenging. What got us through it was the support of the family and just being there for each other. But it definitely was scary, to be quite honest.
Felt really alone and afraid, and I was like, I'm trying to figure this out. Don't know what to do. And then when he was diagnosed with neck, it was just like, oh my goodness, what? It's like, I thought it couldn't get any worse. And we went through neck, and he had neck 3 different times.
The most difficult was seeing her go through it and not just being I couldn't help. I just could just stand there. So it was hard to just see her go through that, to see them so small and not know if they would survive, especially with neck. It really caused them problems, and we were just in fear, constant fear. But I think once we got to a certain point, it was better. But it was just a lot of fear and just not being able to help the way I wanted to.
Our hospital has this thing called parent hosts. So there's a parent host on each one of the floors at the Children's Hospital. And it's the parent hosts are parents that have experienced a stay in that particular floor, in that particular unit. My parent host asked me about March of Dimes as well, and I said, I know a little bit of it. But it really got me into the NICU family support groups and figuring out what that meant, and telling me that the hospital had a team that they did for March for Babies. From the March of Dimes website, I checked into premature babies and what that looks like. I also found out breast milk with neck. I read a lot about it on March of Dimes, but it was just like, oh, this is interesting. This is what breast milk does. Whatever we do moving forward, we try to incorporate what our story was, because it could have been very different. I hope just to continue to bring awareness to prematurity and what that means, and ultimately fight against it, and what ways that we can do that as a community and our health systems. We need to create more spaces to talk about this with families. I hope to be a representative for this, for Black families, for young families, for families of twins, first-time moms. Hope that being the ambassador family, that we're able to bring awareness to that and help open up more conversations for that.
Just to create awareness, and that know that you're not alone, that it can be difficult at first, but you can make it through and be supportive at the end. We want to speak up for all families that can benefit as we have from March and Dimes.
Bye.
Big smiles, big smiles.